right, welcome back, everyone. I wanted to give an update here now that we have the previous candle closing. The candle you're looking at now is going back and forth between red and green, but that is the candle for the 7th. So the candle we have for the 6th here has closed, and it in fact closed green, which is what we thought because it was fighting back quite a bit against the downward pressure today. They were able to get it back down into the zone, but ultimately we closed up. So that means that 9 out of the last 10 days for Dogecoin have been green. What an historic run for the coin. I checked the charts, and this has not happened like at all in even since maybe prior to 2021, where we go like below a penny. You can find that run, but since the big bull run, this has not happened. Not even when we were above 30 cent, 40 cent, 50 cent, did not happen. So this is an historic run that we're on. So I wanted to do this because we are setting up a new trend here. As I mentioned the other day, we should get some more closures all above 15 cent. This is why I said 15 cent is the new floor. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. But I wanted to talk about the next trend and when we can expect a breakout and give you a couple options as far as what can happen from here. So what can happen from here is which we're building out the floor, which I believe this is ideal. I'm all for this sideways momentum right here, but this can go a couple of ways. So if this continues, let's say we have that 15 cent roughly, which is the floor. I'm just going to put this here, and we have this sideways, some up, some down, and we start using this here as the new floor. Now, if the 15 floor fails, because we're building it out, it's getting every day. Obviously, we get a closure above it, it gets stronger. But let's just say it fails, and then we have the previous trend line here. What this can put is that floor can now become the ceiling, and we can start bouncing somewhere between 13 and 15. And so what this will do is this will obviously tighten itself, and we can have an apex somewhere around the first week of April, obviously depending on price action. I don't believe that unless we have a significant slowing in the market as far as for capital, that's the only way this would work out. But I'm just giving you both scenarios so that way you'll kind of know so that you can kind of plan for it. We'll have an apex somewhere around the first week of April, and this will determine either our graph for liquidity to the downside or to the upside. That is a possibility. As of right now, it's not the likely one, but I wanted to give you both perspectives so that you can kind of gauge from there. What another possibility, which I believe is the most likely, is that we'll see the current trend line, maybe get some closures up here, but we'll keep using this 15 as kind of like a trampoline, and then we will ascend from there, depending on obviously like the market here. I watched Powell's movements. I don't see anything macro wise that's going to disrupt anything now. I know we have the jobs report and CPI coming out. I think both within a week. We'll obviously see what those macros look like, but as of right now, this moment, there's not much to trip this up as far as for breaking down to grab like an additional liquidity. But if we do that, that this here still remains intact because we have a ways that we can go to grab liquidity. Because even right now, where we are on the chart, we can go down to even like 12.5 and still remain this trend. So as the days goes on, obviously this rises. So that the chance of breaking trend, if we were struggling with momentum or liquidity, would go up as the days go on. But right now, there's still significant room from where we are to where we can grab liquidity. Because even if we drop that far, it would still be above the 14-day. So we're still on a very aggressive uptrend, no matter which one of these you choose to align with. But that kind of gives us a window of when we can, from between now and the next few weeks, as far as when we can expect that breakup. So we've seen a similar pattern here. We obviously, this is before we started having a lot of liquidity coming into the market. We had a good run here and a similar pattern, but not as many days green, obviously. But we had a significant pattern here and had some sideways movement. But ultimately, we had to go back down and grab some of that liquidity in the market before we're able to ascend. And I think we did this and the pattern before. But again, this is when we're struggling to break out of the main liquidity zones. And I think we were down around 6 cent. You want to say 8, had the sideways movement, and then with the flash crashes. So yeah, we were struggling to break above it. But even outside of that, it's difficult to compare this to the previous trends because none of the trends were this aggressive. So that's another thing we have to kind of keep in mind is, 9 out of 10 days green, that says something. So we'll see here. I know some people are panicking, saying that we're going to have a like a flash crash, not a flash crash, but we're going to have these big retracements in the market. And obviously, the sell-offs, as far as institution wise, obviously Bitcoin can drag down the market with it, and those the possibility of those big sell-offs get more real the more coins they buy for their ETFs, the more in place they are to cause these sell-offs. Like if they are saying we believe that we don't have enough coins or to hit our projections or whatever once Bitcoin goes over 100,000, so we're going to need to tank the price and buy more at lower levels. That is it's a possibility, but right now I don't believe that they want to compete with retail, because technically speaking, you would do that when I say that typically happens when people are least expecting it. So right now, everybody's eyes are watching crypto, so they're praying for a pullback. So this is why I don't believe that it's likely to happen right now, because right now there's people watching, Dogecoin supporters, Ethereum, Bitcoin. They're all watching their favorite coins and they're praying for that pullback. Like there are a lot of people right now, nothing would make them happier than a red candle down here. And this is why when this happened, this is why it got pushed back up, is because they were waiting. So the same thing with like Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. Right now, it's just not the time to try and push the asset down, because it's just going to get bought up immediately, and you'll see like those swings. So what we're going to see is probably some sideways movement in the market, not just with Doge. And we'll see if there is that need to grab liquidity. We can take a look at the price action to see if the candles are getting less aggressive and looking something more like this. Then we'll talk about the threat of a more significant pullback. But as of right now, we don't have enough evidence for that. The candle yesterday was a little smaller, but again, that is fighting some significant selling pressure here compared to the overall market. And we'll see today, because today's candle is just forming. So we'll gauge that and then compile that data, and then we'll see how that kind of pans out. Well, so let's get an update here on shorts. Let's see if they're feeling confident the market is going to go down. Let's see here. If I type it in right. There we go. No, so shorts aren't confident. They're not taking any big positions here anymore. And again, that could be lack of confidence, or because they got bent over right here. They are not ready to make any long-term commitments right now. So they're going to stay single for a while. But they are not confident that that the price is going to go down here. So they're sitting on the sideline. So that's always another indicator here that typically the meat of their short will be taken out prior to when they believe there's going to be a big dip. So if they see something that make them feel confident that the market is going to tank, you'll see them take position so they can kind of ride it down. But as of right now, they are not seeing anything right now, or at least not willing to take the risk to short the coin, because I believe even if it did go down, that scenario I just gave you about people waiting to purchase the asset, it will come into effect, and then they put themselves in a position to get bent over again. So I don't think they want that. So overall, that is the current price action. That's the current trend, giving you some dates here. This apex plays out somewhere between first week of April, somewhere between April 6th, April 7th. I'll say April 5th to April 7th. That is the long way. I don't believe we'll stay on this trend line that long, but just giving you a range so that you can kind of have something to work with, and then giving you both scenarios so that you can compile the data and see which way you want to approach this. So that being said, that is the price update. If you found value, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the channel for more videos. I appreciate all of you guys, and I will see you in the next one.